The transition back to society after serving prison time can be difficult. State lawmakers in New York are considering ways to make the change easier. The proposed Clean Slate bill would automatically expunge the records of certain offenders after they finish parole. That's sponsored by State Senator Zelnor Myrie, a Democrat from Brooklyn.
This is an incredibly important point. 2.3 million New Yorkers have a conviction record. These are your friends, these are your family members, these are your neighbors. These are people in our community already, people who are here trying to take advantage of housing opportunities, educational opportunities, and job opportunities, but who are being denied simply because they have a conviction record. What we are doing with automatic sealing and expunging is giving these people an opportunity to not have the worst thing that they've ever done, disallow them from participating in the community that they're already in.
While there have been recent changes to the criminal justice system, some advocates say that the system is still broken in other ways. Marvin Mayfield, an advocate with the Center for Community Alternatives, says he experienced those barriers in his own life and is seeing them in the lives of others as well.
One of our organization members was Florence. Florence is a single mother who was convicted of credit card fraud. I won't get into all the factors that caused the decision. Suffice it to say that she had some unmet needs. So Florence did 3.5 years in prison, and after her release, she first had to fight to be reunited with her child, and because of a criminal record, she was denied Section 8 housing. So for the next 2 years, she was shuffled from shelter to shelter, and during this time, Florence took multiple training programs to help her be prepared to get a job, but just like in housing, a background check eliminated her from competing in the job market. She was repeatedly denied employment for which she was capable and qualified, and she's still unemployed to this day.
Florence is just one of an estimated 2+ million New Yorkers who could benefit from the Clean Slate bill. But the bill is not without some critics from both the left and the right. Albany County District Attorney David Soares says the expungement of records should be done on a case-by-case basis and not automatically. That's because some offenses may not necessarily represent the potential danger someone could pose to the public. One such category is sex offenses. While registered sex offenders don't qualify for expungement under the bill, Soares says that doesn't always tell the entire story.
We may offer a misdemeanor plea with sex offender conditions if we don't want to put a victim through, the trauma of having to take the stand and conduct, one of those proceedings. If we decided to go from a D felony or an E felony to a misdemeanor, right now, if they pass this piece of legislation as is, those would be the cases that would be expunged, wiped away from existence. And that individual could be employed somewhere down the line working, with youth.
Some Republicans, meanwhile, said they're opposed to the bill altogether. Senate Republican leader Rob Ortt says not knowing that someone has a criminal record could undermine safety and cause problems down the road.
I'm the manager at a bank. I'm looking to hire somebody. I can't know that this person stole money in his previous job or her previous job. Don't you think that's a necessary thing for me to know before I employ them back in the financial sector? I mean, let alone murder or other more serious crimes, armed robbery. I mean, there are just some crimes that we need to know. Doesn't mean that gets held over their head forever, but there are consequences, obviously.
The bill supporters, however, say that making the process automatic is necessary if the goal is to make real, significant impact in the lives of the formerly incarcerated.
We now know that only 0.5% of people who are eligible for this sealing actually do it. And it makes sense. The application process is hard. You have to know how to do it. You have to relive your interactions with the criminal legal system. You may need a lawyer to get it done. Most people don't know that they're eligible. And that's why it's important that this process be automatic. When it is automatic, then we see a much higher utilization rate.
Supporters say the bill will actually improve public safety by preventing someone with a conviction from being turned away from a job, housing, or education, allowing them to participate in society and make ends meet legally. The measure passed the Senate Codes Committee this week, but it remains in committee in the Assembly. Supporters are hoping to see it pass before the end of session in June.